This looks and feels like a taco in a bag, but I think it's gonna taste a lot different. Why are tacos the only food that we are putting into bags? I have all these bags of variety chips, and I wanna see what else can taco in a bag. So today, I'm taking a Midwestern classic, the Sloppy Joe. I'm gonna see if the Sloppy Joe can walking taco in a bag. First, we need to set the record straight. Is it called a walking taco or is it taco in a bag? So I need to decide if I'm making a walking sloppy or a sloppy in a bag. To find the answer to this heated debate, I went out into the world, to the pinnacle of Midwestern culinary experimentation. I'm at the Minnesota State Fair asking the hard-hitting questions. Is it a walking taco or a taco in a bag? Taco in a bag. If standing by Oofta Tacos, which with a name like Oofta Tacos, I can guarantee there is no spice in those tacos. Is this a walking taco or a taco in a bag?
This is a walking taco. It's a walking taco.
Taco in the bag for me.
Can I have you say bag one more time?
I'm from North Dakota. Bag.
Walking taco for sure.
Walking taco.
Is it a walking taco or a taco in a bag?
Wait, what?
Doritos and like ground beef.
That sounds like a taco in a bag.
It's definitely walking taco.
Taco in a bag.
Taco in a bag.
Walking taco?
Yeah.
Walking taco. Walking. Is it a walking taco or a taco in a bag?
It's a walking taco.
Walking taco?
Like a Minnesota.
The people have spoken. It is a walking taco. I'm still calling it taco in a bag. Sorry. Maybe walking taco is a better name because big is kind of a hard word for Midwesterners to say. Now let's make our sloppy joes. First step, chop up half an onion and a bell pepper. Some people like to go just right for the meat, but for my mom, sloppy joes was always about hiding vegetables. And we usually just do peppers and onions, but I'm sure there are all kinds of vegetables you could sneak into your sloppy joes. Carrots, squash, just depends on how deceptive of a person you are. It all becomes slop at some point. Now we're gonna brown a pound of ground beef. I found if you like flatten it into one giant patty and start browning it that way, it helps it get like super crispy on the outside and you get little crunchy bits in your sloppy joes. You know, give you some more texture in the slop. Throw some salt in there. Little black pepper, but not too spicy. Oh God, that might be too spicy. Top 3 school lunch days were chicken patty day, pizza day, and sloppy joe day. Or breakfast for lunch day. School lunches, where yesterday's meatloaf, or today is sloppy joes. We're gonna attempt to like flip our giant burger patty-ish thing so the other side gets brown. We might flip in 2. And we're gonna throw in our onion and our bell pepper, and then start to break it up. You don't want any too chunky of sloppy joes. We're getting just about ready for the sloppy part. And you could just open a can of Manwich and you're good to go. But honestly, sloppy joes are one of the easiest things that you can improvise with stuff you usually already have in your cupboards. It kind of follows the great Midwestern culinary tradition of seasoning foods with canned goods and condiments. And we're gonna start with a little bit of garlic powder. Just kind of eyeball that in. Add some ketchup. Throw a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I got a little bit of Bloody Mary mix left over. I think that'll work just great. It's already seasoned. No vodka though. And a little bit of just your plain yellow mustard. A cider vinegar, a tablespoon of brown sugar. You're gonna let that cook for about 15 minutes over medium heat. And then taste and you just kind of adjust as needed. Let's give her a test, taste and adjust. Not bad, but I feel like it needs a little more something. Sloppy joes are delicious, but it's kind of a random mixture of stuff. You're basically making a barbecue sauce. Maybe just a dash more of pepper, even though it is kind of spicy already. Oh God, that might be too spicy. Taste it again, see if we're good. Yeah, see, I don't need no Manwich. I don't need any fun piled on a bun. For our test with Sloppy Joe in a bag, we're gonna do Old Dutch Original, Cool Ranch Doritos, and dill pickle chips. Now, when you make a taco in a bag, you're not just putting taco meat and Doritos in there, maybe if you're like 5, but you need the toppings. So I put together, I think, our appropriate toppings for Sloppy Joe in a bag. We have cheese, onions, and pickles, both bread and butter and dill, pleasing everyone. Now, when you're making taco in a bag, there's 3 ways that I've seen the bags open. Number 1, the one that makes the most sense. Opening it from the top. Downside of this, I think, is you have to dig in a little bit more, but the solution to that is easy. You just rip the sides a little bit and roll the bag. Some people make their taco in a bag by cutting the side open. While effective, it requires a scissors. This is not the way the bag was intended to be opened. You cannot simply pull from the side. Yeah, I can't open that, and I've opened many bags of chips. Now, the last way I've seen it, some people cut it right down the center like you're giving the bag of chips surgery. Well, again, I think you get more surface area access. It makes it much harder to walk around with without spilling, especially for a Sloppy Joe. The last thing to consider is how much do you crush. I'm just a very light crush. It makes it too hard to scoop out when they're all broken up. Give your bag a light crush. Perfect, not too much. Just a gentle massage. Now that our bags are slightly crushed, we have our toppings, and our sloppy joes are placed inside the appropriate Midwestern serving vessel, let's try a sloppy joe in a bag. I'm gonna start with the original, OG, original Dutch. Opening from the top, open up, old reliable. Look at that slop, extra sloppy. A little bit of onions, dill pickle chips, and cheese. Mix it in there. This looks and feels like a taco in a bag, but I think it's gonna taste a lot different. I've never been so nervous or excited for anything in my life. I've got some cheese, I've got some sloppy, I've got some pickle, I've got some chip. Honestly, not bad. That was like mostly pickle. Lived up to every expectation. I will say, I think this is where maybe the Ruffles could have come in handy if it's a sturdier chip or using a kettle chip. The potato chips, I think you gotta eat this fast before they dissolve. First sample, done. Original, pass. Now, for the wild card. I think Cool Ranch Doritos is maybe not quite what you expect with a Sloppy Joe, but I think it could work. I'm willing to take a risk. A little bit of sloppy. It's not it. This is not it. The flavors of the Cool Ranch are good on their own. Flavors of the Sloppy Joe are good on their own, but together, this is too much. My mouth doesn't understand. This is not how you should serve a Sloppy Joe in a bag. And last up, I love dill pickle chips. I have a lot of faith in these. I hope it doesn't let me down. Our sloppy meat, onions, and the cheese. Hell yeah, this is it. You get the tanginess of the pickle flavor from the pickle chips with the sweetness of the Sloppy Joe. I think I've just revolutionized the world of food in a bag. We found that you can indeed put a Sloppy Joe in a bag, and most of the time it tastes good, not Cool Ranch Doritos. But the last test is, can it walk? The moment of truth. I've got to see if I can walk and eat the Sloppy Joe. At least it doesn't have to be in a straight line. I'm walking while holding the bag, and I did it. I can walk, I can eat. It's a walking Joe, walking sloppy. This has revolutionized the world of walking food and food in a bag. We now have, to go with the walking taco, the walking sloppy, the sloppy in a bag, the walking Joe, the Joe in a bag. We're working on the name here. I don't know if I actually invented the Sloppy Joe in a bag. I could see this happening at like a Midwestern concession stand, like, oh no, we made too much Sloppy Joe meat, but oh, we got all these extra Lay's potato chips. Let's just sell them together and call it a sloppy in a bag and it's good to go. But I like to think that I invented something new.